Hello and welcome to another tier list video. Today we are taking a look at fast food logos. That's right, I've done another fast food video before, but this time I'm going to be throwing out my biases. I'm not going to be considering at all which places I like to eat at. I'm just going to be ranking them based on how cool is their logo, how well does it represent their brand. So starting us off, we have A&W, which is not just a root beer company, but also a fast food place, sort of fast food. I would say it's classifies as fast food. But we have the A&W logo. It's pretty simple. It's just an A and a W, and then it says All American Food. In terms of the colors, I think it's okay. They got a couple of browns, reddish browns. Overall, I will say this logo is not really doing anything too special, but it looks good. It's clear. You know what you're getting into when you see the A&W logo. So for me, A&W gonna be in the B tier. Up next, we have Arby's. This is a company that has confused me a lot in the past with their jingles, their slogans, and honestly, their logo kind of confuses me as well. I believe the thing behind the Arby's letters is supposed to be like a 10-gallon hat or something. I'm not entirely sure because I don't really think of Arby's as like a Western or cowboy type place. So honestly, I feel like their logo, well, it's okay to look at. I don't really understand how it represents the food that they provide, which is pretty much like sliders. So honestly, Arby's, their logo is not bad, but I don't feel it gives a good representation of what you're getting into. So Arby's logo actually going to be in the D tier. Up next, we have the Burger King logo, which is basically the words Burger King inside of a burger. I think this logo is really cool. I like the Burger King logo. That being said, I always think they missed an opportunity to go with something with like a crown. Like, I don't know exactly how it would look, but I feel like even if you just put like a crown on top of the burger, like your company's named Burger King and you don't have anything about like royalty or like kings on there, I felt like they kind of missed an opportunity there. But overall, the Burger King logo still looks really good in my opinion, and definitely going to be a solid A tier. Up next, we have the Raising Cane's logo. This one is pretty standard, not really too much going on, just says Raising Cane's. And honestly, I think it looks pretty good. A lot of companies, when they just have the letters or the words of their company on their logo, I don't think it looks too good, but I think the font choice and the color choice for Raising Cane's is pretty good. So they're going to find themselves in a very solid B tier. Up next, we have Carl's Jr. Now, I don't know who Carl Sr. or Carl Jr. are. Maybe they were stars, but I've always been confused about this like smiling star on the Carl's Jr. logo. I'm not sure what the origin of that is. If somebody knows, you can point it out to me in the comments. But Carl's Jr., I think the logo is actually okay, but looking at this, I feel like it's a logo for like a car wash or maybe like a dish soap company, not a fast food place. The star, not really sure how it relates to fast food, but overall the logo still looks pretty decent. So even though it's a bit misleading, still gonna find itself in the C tier. Up next, we have the Chick-fil-A chicken. Now, I think this one is pretty good. It's not spectacular by any means, but it is a bit creative. It's not just the words of the company on the logo. They're doing something a little bit creative, and it's pretty interesting what they did. They didn't just have a regular chicken. They do have a bit more abstract shapes forming the chicken on there. So I think this one is pretty good, and Chick-fil-A gonna find itself in the B tier. Up next, we have Chipotle Mexican Grill. Basically, the words Chipotle Mexican Grill, and then they have the Chipotle pepper in the middle, which I actually think is pretty cool. I think the logo, it's simple. It's got the words, you know what you're getting into, it's a Mexican place, there's going to be peppers there. Chipotle, just another solid B tier logo for me. Up next, we have the Culver's logo. Now, I don't know what it is about this one, but I really like this logo. There's not a whole lot going on there, but I feel like the font choice and the color choice for the Culver's logo is really good. I like it a lot, honestly. It's pretty simple, but the Culver's logo, I really like. It just looks smooth, it looks clean. The white, the blue, the sky blue, they all just work really well together. The Culver's logo gonna be in the A tier for me. Up next, we have Denny's. Honestly, this place is a place you could maybe say isn't fast food, but it's pretty fast food. But the Denny's logo itself, not impressed with. It's just Denny's with a pretty simple font inside of like a yellow hexagon. So honestly, Denny's, not really a huge fan. Doesn't tell you anything about the company from the logo. So Denny's actually going to be in the F tier. Sorry, Denny's, I like you, but your logo, it's not great. Up next, we have Dairy Queen, which I believe, if you've seen some of the commercials, I believe these are supposed to be lips, like the red thing, because at least in the older commercials, the DQ logo would like lick itself. It'd be a pair of lips that would like lick its lips, and the DQ logo would show up. So I think this logo is okay. It's not great, but it is kind of unique, so DQ, it'll find itself in the C tier. Up next, we have Five Guys, yet another garbage tier logo in my opinion. I like Five Guys, love their burgers, but their logo could not be more plain. It's just white letters on a red background that says Five Guys. Sorry, Five Guys, but come up with something. You know, you can do something. You're a burger place. It's not that hard to come up with something for a unique logo. So Five Guys, gonna be in the F tier as well. Up next, we have In-N-Out Burger. Now this one, I actually really like this logo. I think the little arrow, you know, on like right behind the sign of In-N-Out Burger, I think it's really good. I don't know what it is, but it just looks clean. And you know, even just based on the logo, it says burger on it. You know what you're getting into. You're gonna go in, you're gonna get a burger, and you're gonna come out. In-N-Out Burger, honestly, gotta be in the S tier. I don't even love In-N-Out Burger that much, but their logo, I love it. Up next, we have Jack in the Box. Another place that I think is pretty good, but Jack in the Box, we got Jack inside of a box. Actually, we don't. We have Jack inside of a hexagon. Like, come on, Jack in the Box. The least you could do is put Jack inside of just a box. A hexagon is not a box. This thing has 6 sides. It's not a box. Jack in the Box, F tier. Up next, we have Jersey Mike's Subs. Really like Jersey Mike's, and honestly, I think their logo looks pretty good. Decent font choice, you know, decent color choice. I think the red really pops out of the blue. And honestly, it just looks pretty clean. Gonna be in the A tier for me. Up next, we have Jimmy John's. Honestly, pretty similar to the Jersey Mike's logo, just a different font choice with 2 big J's in the middle. And honestly, I like it. I think the 2 J's in the middle really makes the logo recognizable, even just at a glance. Even if you don't read any of the white letters, you see a black circle with 2 big JJ's. That are red, and honestly, you know, it's the Jimmy John's logo. I think it's just overall a really solid logo. Nothing fantastic, but just really solid. Gonna find itself in the A tier. Up next, we have KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love this one. You got the Colonel on there. I mean, that face just represents fried chicken at this point. KFC, it's a nice, clean logo. We got the Colonel on there. Overall, I just think it looks really good. Definitely gonna be in the S tier for me. Up next, we have McDonald's, the famous golden arches. Definitely the most recognizable logo, and for a good reason. I think this logo is pretty good. Again, it's not doing anything too crazy. It's just a yellow M on a red background, but sometimes it's the simple ones that really work, and I think this McDonald's logo really works, so it's going to find itself in the A tier. Up next, we have the Noodles and Company logo. This is another one that I just really like. It's pretty simple. You got your spoon with some noodles in it, and then it says Noodles and Company. It's simple, but the graphics, I think they look really good. I like the spoon. I think, you know, it's a good cartoon. Noodles and Company, really like the logo. Definitely going to be in the S tier. Up next, we have Panda Express. Now, I'm a huge fan of Panda Express, and I'm also a huge fan of the logo. You got that panda there. I mean, how can you not like this logo? They have an adorable panda right in the center. It says Panda Express. You know what you're getting into. Very clearly Chinese fast food. Panda Express, just another great logo for me. Definitely going to be in the S tier. Up next, we have Panera Bread. We're kind of on a roll here with great logos. Panera Bread is just another really good logo. I love the font choice of Panera Bread, and I think the white text on like the sort of greenish off-green background looks really good. And the bread logo just above it, or whatever that logo is, honestly, I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of eye-catching. Panera, great job on your logo. Also going to be another very solid A tier. Up next, we have Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, another fast food place. I think this place could take some notes off of KFC's logo. I'm not a huge fan of Popeye's logo. I get that they're kind of going for like the goofy Popeye's font, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. The P in the middle is okay, but it's a bit underwhelming. I think instead of having a P here, if they had like Popeye, I don't know if that's trademarked or anything, I'm sure it is, but having Popeye there instead of a letter P, I think that'd be a lot better. So Popeye's, not a huge fan, but it's not terrible. It'll find itself in the C tier. Up next, we have Qdoba. Now, I like Qdoba, but I don't like their logo. I don't really know what they were thinking here with like this vertical and also horizontal word shape. Honestly, it's just a jumbled mess. It's like they took the letters of Qdoba and just dumped them out on the screen and said, this is our logo. Qdoba, sorry, it's going to be another F tier. Up next, we have Sonic. Honestly, a pretty good, simple logo. You know, white text on a red background. Similar to McDonald's, I think sometimes simplicity just works, and for Sonic, it works. Not quite as well as McDonald's, but I think the Sonic logo is still solid, and it'll find itself in the B tier. Up next, we have the Subway logo. Now, this is one that I'm not in love with, but as far as just, you know, text goes, I think it's pretty decent. You know, you got the little arrows at the start of the S and then leaving the Y. You got the yellow and you got the green. Overall, I think it's pretty good. Not phenomenal, but you know, as far as sub sandwich logos go, I think it's decent. So it'll find itself in the B tier. Up next, we have Taco Bell. Honestly, just a really solid logo. You know, you got the taco, you got the bell, and then you have the actual bell above that. And I think it looks pretty good. I like the bell. I think, you know, it's a good drawing. Taco Bell gonna find themselves in the A tier. Up next, we have Taco John's. Now, this is a company that I believe just a couple of years ago redid their logo, so now it's the TJ with Taco John's next to it. I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly. There's a Taco John's pretty close to my house, and I like Taco John's, but I really miss the old logo of like the guy wearing the sombrero. I thought that one looked a lot better, and Taco John's, your new logo, sorry, but it doesn't quite do it for me. It's gonna find itself in the C tier. Up next, we have Wendy's. Honestly, I don't love the logo, but it makes sense. You know, you have something like Arby's, like I don't know who Arby is or why the 10-gallon hat is there. Same thing with Carl's Jr. Who's Carl? Why is it a star? But with Wendy's, you know what it is. You see Wendy's, you see the girl, okay, her name must be Wendy's. I think it's a pretty good logo. I'm not in love with the font chosen for the Wendy's logo, but overall, I think it's a solid logo. Gonna find itself in the B tier. Last but not least, we have White Castle. Now, honestly, this might just be my favorite logo on the list. I think the font choice looks super good. It looks really classical, very almost Times New Roman-esque, but more fancy. And you got the castle in the background. I think the castle looks great. I think the font looks like a castle font, if there even is such a thing. And honestly, White Castle, just great job on your logo. Definitely going to be in the S tier. Well, that's my list. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed.